All right, so have you ever had the experience of trying to stay on track, but then you get really excited about another thing, and so then you go and do that, and then once you get one win from the other thing, then you're like, ooh, I just came up with another idea. Or as you're starting off and talking to someone about this new project that you began, they tell you about something that they just got into and you're like, oh, I want to get into that as well. And that's really exciting. Or as you start working on your business and you get around other people who are working on their business, but then they ask you for help and then you can't say no. So then you're like, well, let me add that in as well. And then on top of that, have you ever had the experience of struggling to stay on track, but it's boring? Doing the same freaking thing? No, I already figured out how to do that. Have you ever had that experience where someone is saying, oh, you want to get more clients? You need to get on the phone. And you're like, I already did that. I know the phone. Oh, you want to get more clients? Oh, you want to get more clients? You need to post on social media. You're like, I already took that 8-week boot camp about social. I don't want to hear that. Oh, you want to. If you've ever had the experience of trying to get results, to stay on track, to hit the mark that you've set for yourself, and coming up with a shiny new object, this is for you. By the way, if you have not met me yet, Sensei Victoria Whitfield. Sensei means teacher in Japanese, and I get that title from Reiki, which is a Japanese form of natural healing that I've been studying for many years. I have at least 5 now masterships in Reiki, as well as found my own lineage of business Reiki. So that's why I'm a sensei, if you ever wondered about that. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. If this speaks to you here on YouTube, it really helps my channel reach more people. By any means, make sure you also forward this to someone, share it with someone who would really need to hear the importance of staying on track. This is your business energy flow forecast. Before you go into the day, cast your mind. Set your mind right so that you're ready to attack the day with clarity and with focus. That is what this is about. Make sure you bookmark this page, put it as a recurring daily event in your Google Calendar so you can watch it as you are getting ready, or listen in as you're getting ready in the morning to set your mind right. Because what we are talking about today is shiny object syndrome. Yeah. Oh, so this is for those of you, by the way, I'm a little bit chilly here. I'm glad I have my visionary hoodie from my merch store. Go and get yours. Click the link in the description if you want one. It's freaking 19 degrees Fahrenheit here in New Jersey. So, but I keep it around 65 or less indoors. I'm still cold though. It's important for us as creative individuals to be aware that there's 2 sides to the coin of being very creative. And I want to give you a vision to show you the dark side of it. Because most time when people, oh yeah, I'm a very creative person, I'm very innovative, very passionate, right? Entrepreneurs are so creative, they come up with so many new ideas. It's amazing how many problems they're able to solve. Yes, and there's 2 sides. There's pros and cons to everything. And there's an image that I want to give to you to help you stay vigilant about the problem of the creator. And I like to call this stuck in the ivory tower. Imagine this. There's this beautiful ivory tower. It is a work of art. It is multi-stories. It is the pinnacle of this architect's creation. The architect is an artist. They're world renowned and respected for their amazing mind. They come up with the most beautiful designs. The architect themselves, they're like, I'm an architect, I'm an artist, I'm an innovator. I really love expressing what creatively comes to me. And so they start working on another project and they write it out and they put all the schematics. It's amazing. They feel satisfied seeing the schematics, and then boom, another image comes to mind. And so they push that paper aside and they start drawing a whole nother schematic, a whole nother draw up of another architecture. It's beautiful. It's exactly how they pictured it. It feels so good to see it. And then, ooh, another one. And so they push that paper aside and they start generating. The architect is stuck in the ivory tower of creation. This is actually the dark side of being creative, of being the artist, especially when you are in business. Because if you can't get out of the ivory tower of creation, the ivory tower of ideation, coming up with ideas, and get into the ground floor of implementation, then all those beautiful ideas, just like the artist in the ivory tower, just become a pile of clutter. They gather dust on the floor. They start filling up the space of dreams deferred, right? What happens to a dream deferred? Langston Hughes famously said, does it shrivel up like a raisin in the sun? Be kind to yourself if you are highly susceptible to shiny object syndrome and the distraction of the squirrel, of the new, now, next, and the squirrel of the exciting and the latest, and the squirrel of being the first to make it but not follow through with it, or being the first in. I bought it, but I forgot what I bought. I don't know where my login is, and I don't know when we're meeting, but I got it. And I got the fast action, limited time only, one time only offer bonus. Be kind to yourself. And let's just admit, hi, my name is me, and I have a problem with shiny object syndrome. And so this is our fourth installment on our Stay on Track series. We want to bring up what's the problem. We want to explore what's these problems that are stopping us, these obstacles that are stopping us from staying on track in our lives, in our businesses, from having the income and impact that we are called to by Spirit. What's coming up that's stopping you? Just for today, as we say in Reiki, Kyo Dakeba, today, we are looking at, just for today, shiny object syndrome. How do we get around that? Well, we need some science, right? Some stories. We need an action step. We also need some spirit in there. Yeah. And the stories we're pulling from our ongoing book study of Think and Grow Rich. Currently, we are working on chapter 2, Desire, and the quote that my spirit guides drew me to read to you on this topic of getting around shiny object syndrome is, hold one moment, please. Here we are. Ooh, look at all my notes. In planning to acquire your share of the riches, let no one influence you to scorn the dreamer. To win the big stakes in this changed world, you must catch the spirit of the great pioneers of the past, whose dreams have given to civilization all that it has of value. The spirit that serves as the lifeblood of our own country, your opportunity and mine, to develop and market our talents. If the thing you wish to do is right and you believe in it, go ahead and do it. Put your dream across and never mind what they say if you meet with temporary defeat. For they perhaps do not know that every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. Thomas Edison dreamed of a lamp that could be operated by electricity, began where he stood to put his dream into action, and despite more than 10,000 failures, he stood by that dream until he made it a physical reality. Practical dreamers do not quit. The problem of the ivory tower. Come back to our architect who has shiny object syndrome. We don't want to scorn this dreamer, this creative. He's amazing. He's the best. He's brilliant. These are works of art, yes. The problem is that he was excited to draw up the idea and then pushed it aside. Practical dreamers do not quit. Put your dream across. That's the words of Napoleon Hill today. Put it across what? The pavement. Burn rubber. Like, let's go. Let's see where the rubber meets the road of this in practice. And also Napoleon Hill pointed out with the story of Thomas Edison that it was over 10,000 failures. Don't just put it into action, put it into repeat action. Rinse and repeat. If you suffer from shiny object syndrome, the first thing that you need to do this week is to sit down and write down what worked. This is called a debrief. If you've never heard of that, right? They do it in like government and espionage all the time. They do it in business all the time. A debrief. What worked? Do. A, B, C, D. What didn't work? A, B, C, D. Knowing what we know now, what would we do differently in the situation that is going to happen again? Knowing what works and knowing what didn't work, right? Debrief yourself, rinse and repeat. It is okay for you to have routines. It is okay for you to come back and have systems and use your own systems for success. One win is not enough. Be insatiable. Milk that cow, baby. There's more milk where that came from. Yes. So that's the story, right? That is supporting us getting over shiny object syndrome so that we can stay on track, have massive impact, help others, solve problems. But okay, what about some science to support us? It's a story, that's science. Let's get to it. This week, again, in the Stay on Track series, I've been drawn to read articles about AI. And this article this week is coming from ultimate.ai, written by Geshe Loft. The title of the article is How AI Uses Feedback Loops to Learn from Its Mistakes. You ready for this? Think of a conversational AI model as a copy of a human brain. It lives within what's called an artificial neural network, consisting of several layers of AI that pass information between one another. This information is based on input from the real world. Once it's been passed along between the layers, the model produces output. Real world input produces the output of the AI. Sometimes there are inaccuracies in information flows between these layers. A typical example of this would be an AI-based image recognition program mixing up a dog with a cat. It's like, oh, you show it a dog. It's like, oh, that's a cat. No, it's not. And in conversational AI for customer support, another example is your model may confuse intents. So an example is you call up and you get the automated thing and you say, customer service. And the AI is like, oh, let me get you to sales. You're like, no, I don't want someone to sell me something. That was not my intention. I said customer service. I don't want to be sold something. I want to somebody right now. But the AI is like, let me get you to sales. No, sometimes the AI is wrong about the intent. In both cases, the more incoming data the model receives, the more opportunities for it to make mistakes and to learn from them. They identify, okay, wait a minute, this is where feedback loops or back propagation algorithms come in. They identify inconsistencies and feed the corrected information back into the model as input. What is back propagation algorithms and all this? So what does that mean? Especially when we're talking about shiny object syndrome. The way around getting stuck or stopped over and over and over again by shiny object syndrome is, okay, yeah, you're bored, but it's because you haven't played with the opportunity enough. Feedback loops give you real world data on the actual opportunity and the actual potential of what you're working on. Feedback loops. A back propagation algorithm. What that means is a system of learning that is coming back. Like it keeps recycling, propagating, meaning building more and more and more. Algorithms, a program. The program of success can build, and it keeps building the more that you keep coming back. In layman's terms, rinse and repeat. Our guy in the ivory tower who's loving the new idea and the new idea and the new idea. Oh, if you would just pick up one of those and have the experience of building it and seeing what happens in the process, he wouldn't be filling the ivory tower with the clutter of new opportunities and the clutter of ideas. Instead, he would be filling it with real world data, just as the article said, on what works versus what doesn't work. Just because you came up with an idea, just because you have a business idea, doesn't mean people want to buy it. And I know it's fun. It's a hobby in and of itself. Coming up with fun new products and services and programs and offerings, offering what you like and putting it out there and seeing it all put together and telling people about what you like. But you need to rinse and repeat telling people about what you like. If the end of your track, your destination is to make money, telling people what you like is not making money. Getting paid is making money. So we need to rinse and repeat. Keep coming back. So they're like, okay, the more that I tell people this is what I'm interested in and blah, blah, blah. What do you think? They're like, yeah, that's great, but I wouldn't. I don't really need that. I don't really see, like, oh man. Do we stop there, or do we go to another person who may like it and ask them, well, what do you think about this thing, I built it and blah, 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 blah. What would you say? And they're like, yeah, no, I love this, that, and the other thing. But, you know, if I wanted it, I would change X, Y, and Z. This is another possible stopping point with shiny object syndrome. And it's coming up in our card for the week. Ego. Ego. Ego is coming as a challenger. So it's upside down. That means this is how you relate to others, by the way. It's a major arcana, and you're invited to pay attention to your ego in this, because, oh, the person says, oh, well, you know, if I wanted to buy it, I would change X, Y, and Z. Ego comes up and says, oh, no, you don't. This is my baby. It's perfect. I feel like it's perfect. Therefore, I am entitled to you paying me. No, the customer is not always right. Or you know what? You may have something to say about my baby, my offer. I'm going to take my baby and walk. Even though nobody's bought it yet, I'm going to keep walking until I find somebody who thinks and feels the exact same way that I do. Because this is my baby. This is my work of art. Relax that ego. If you really want to make some money, you need to rinse and repeat and be open to feedback, as AI would say. In fact, feedback loops. The more you base your offer of a product, program, or service off of feedback of people saying, this is what I want, this is what I pay for, this is what I don't want, this is what I don't want to have to pay for anymore, this is what I think, and blah, 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 blah. You will give people what they want, and they will say, shut up and take my money already. But you can't get bored with the feedback loop. You got to give it time. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before he got the light bulb. And let alone get someone to buy it, okay? Right? It took a while. It's true for you too. Be kind to yourself. Get excited about the back propagation, right? The building and the kickback of insight. The back propagation algorithm of like, ooh, there's this. So now that I know this is what we can do differently. Here's what ego says. The number 15 in the major arcana of the Angel Tarot. The angels want you to know that the entrapment you're feeling isn't real. This card indicates that a lot of your feelings are stemming from anxieties that aren't based in reality. So give your fears to God and the angels and ask for their help in adopting a more positive perspective on this situation. This card also indicates that you're focused upon the material things in life. Heaven acknowledges that you, like everyone, have physical needs. However, your attention to the accumulation of possessions is out of balance. Reassess why you want to acquire these items. Perhaps you're trying to fill an emotional void, which material objects could never do. What you're really craving is inner peace through a spiritual path. Additional meanings of this card: refusal to face the truth or to take personal responsibility for the situation. Addictions, temptation, dependency, excessive debt. Jophiel is the archangel who helps us experience beautiful emotions and think beautiful thoughts. Call upon Jophiel whenever you need a boost in how you feel about yourself, your life, and the world. So this is where we're leaving off with Spirit. That shiny new object is not it. You may think by joining that brand new program or buying another who's a what's it, by getting another info product that promises to solve all your problems, even though you forgot your login for the last 10 info products that you bought, let alone you haven't even gone through the material, and they were about the same subjects, such as get more clients, make more money, love yourself, heal your body, blah, 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 whatever you were studying before, you just bought it and didn't actually use it, and then you kept buying the next thing. This is psychic clutter, is what the ego card is saying here. Be kind to yourself. Go back into your own feedback loop, your own back propagation algorithm, because there are systems of success that you already have. And if you would just not get so bored by the fact that you already own something, and instead really consume it, metabolize it, and apply it, your life would change. Be kind to yourself. You already have everything you need. You need to rinse and repeat until you're holding the manifestation of the vision in your hand, until you are standing in it. Just because you bought something doesn't mean you're done. And that's where the ego card is talking about addictions and temptation. Don't give in to shiny object syndrome temptation. That first vision for you as the artist in the ivory tower of the beautiful work of art. Stop there once you've finished drawing the schematics. Come down out of the ivory tower and put it on. Put it on track. Put it on the pavement. Like, let's go. Let's go. Today's the day where you are seeing where the rubber meets the road. Rinse and repeat until you get to your destination. So here's our action step for the week, right? The action step of the week is you're going to go into the school app, right, for our subscribers, and the meditation that you're going to do that's going to help you come down out of the ivory tower and really implement, really make the vision, the dream, your reality. We need to visualize it happen so it gives you the energy to follow through. This is the release to receive cleansing meditation for clarity when you go in our school app. And it's in the mental clarity meditations in your vault of visualizations. This is your script. Take it once a day. Doctor's orders, Sensei's orders, right? You're going to do, again, it's the release to receive cleansing meditation for clarity. This is what's going to help you release being stuck in the ivory tower. Release shiny object syndrome so that you can come down and receive with clarity all that you've asked for. It'll give you the energy and the strength to rinse and repeat what works until it happens. Make it happen today. So that's our message for the day. Remember, hit like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what's dropping in for you hearing all this. Hit the share button. Who do you know who should be rinsing and repeating? Stop with the shiny object syndrome. Do your people need to hear this message? And remember, put it as a recurring daily for the next week so that you start your day off right. Set your mind right? Cast the day ahead of you so that you can go out there, be visionary. Be one who sees in the dark. Be one who sees the vision and wakes up to deal with what is. Sensei Victoria Whitfield, sending you so much love, and you do not have to lose your glow as you grow in life and business. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.